Okay, so I'm going to answer the 3 or so questions that I was unable to answer the first time, and also finish up the rest of the questions that you had for me. Other weaknesses that I have, I kind of wanted to add a few more there just because I kind of felt like I didn't give it a full answer. Anyways, and I'm struggling with it, but I came up with I certainly don't like to get up early. I mean, it's tough for me to get up, but once I'm up, once I get in the shower, I'm good to go. And I also on occasions procrastinate. Sometimes I just don't like to if I have time to do it later, I will put it off and do it later. So that's one of the weaknesses that I have. Something that I need to work on at least. Tell me a time where you've had to work under pressure. Well, the only instance that comes to the top of my head was I worked at Wendy's for a short period of time, maybe 6 months or so, and I worked on the grill, and I really disliked working on the grill. Anyways, I don't know, at Wendy's you have to keep the burgers fresh, yet you don't want them to be raw. So it was kind of a challenge to make sure the burgers were cooked yet not overcooked, and so there you had to find a little balance in there. And so there were plenty of times where it was lunchtime on the weekend, and I was I was way over my head in orders, and the only thing I could do was ignore all the rest of my coworkers as they were like, "Come on, let's go," and just do what I could in order to get it done. Kind of ignore what was going on around me and just focus on the task at hand. I think that's the best example that I can think of off the top of my head. What would I change about my personality? I don't know. I don't know if I would change very much. I don't know. I guess I can sometimes come off as a know-it-all, but on rare occasions, I mean, I'll catch myself when I do become the know-it-all that we all dislike. So, all right. So that finishes up the questions that I was answering earlier that kind of skipped over. This is question 18. If I took out a full-page ad in the New York Times, what 3-word description would I use to label me? I would describe myself as focused, knowledgeable, and caring. What type of environment would you like to work in? I think almost everybody would like to. I would think everyone would like to live in an upbeat and friendly environment, with lots of motivation. Upbeat and friendly people are always motivating. So I think that would be enjoyable for almost anybody. What kinds of people would you rather not work with? I certainly don't like to work with, or don't like to be around pessimists in general. I mean, it's I'm always kind of an optimist. I'm always thinking, we go through the bad times, in order to appreciate the good times, and the bad times teach us something about ourselves, and so bad times are always, always good for us. And things will always get better. The worse it gets, the better the other side is. If you have brown grass, the grass is more likely to be greener wherever you go. That's the way I feel, anyways. And I don't like to be around people who never think it's their fault. They never think the situation that they're in is their fault. It's always some outside force that that comes upon them, that puts them in the situation that they're in. And I can sympathize to a short degree with these people, and sometimes unfortunate things do happen, but you have to get over the bad things that come your way. I mean, we're all dealt a bad hand every once in a while, but anyways, it's how you bet the hand. 2 to 3 examples of a task you do not particularly enjoy doing, and what motivates you then to do them. Well, I'm just speaking in the chiropractic realm and of my previous and current job, and one thing that is kind of unique to my situation is that I don't have anyone in here working with me, and therefore I have to discuss money with patients. So that is certainly an unenjoyable task. Also, I think a detrimental mistake on my part. That might be the reason for me seeking another job. Yet, I mean, I might be glad it happened. Anyways, and then the other particular task that I don't enjoy doing is the paperwork. But I don't necessarily see any chiropractor who loves doing what they're doing enjoy the paperwork. I mean, we all you just get used to the paperwork, I guess. So what kinds of people bug you? I think that kind of pertains to the question 22. The pessimistic person and the person who always thinks that it's not their fault. It's always the situation that they're in. What sort of management style do I have, and how do I think my subordinates perceive me? I've only de facto managed a couple people, and it was mostly just because of my seniority, not necessarily any title that I had. So, for the most part, I'm direct. I tell them exactly what they need to do. I tell them exactly how I deal with certain situations, and so, and let them make decisions off of that. But I've never had to reprimand somebody or anything like that, so that would be that'd be something I wouldn't be able to comment on. How do I think my subordinates perceived me? I think they perceived me as someone who was looking out for their best interest. I mean, I never saw any negative feedback in that aspect. Previous job. What previous job was the most satisfying for me, and why? My microbiology job was certainly satisfying for me, especially when I first got it. It was my first full-time employment. First employment doing something that I enjoyed doing. I mean, I enjoyed being a scientist, so to speak. So I was certainly proud about that. So that's why it was satisfying for me. What do you think you owe your employer? I think I owe my employer